All right, guys, I just wanted to record this video really quickly just to talk about this universal truth that most people simply don't consider. They don't consider it because the truth is that you have to start to get your priorities in check, in my personal opinion. Like, people are dishonoring how they feel to get money or to get the relationship and to get this food. I need this thing, right? And the question is why? Why do you feel that you need this? Why? If you had this, but it's lowering your capacity to be experiencing your life, is it really what you need? If something is taking energy from you, even if you believe you need it, if you think that you have what you want, yet your attention and your capacity to experience this moment is lessening, is that what you need to know? Actually, what's happened is that really your consciousness has been essentially hijacked by a belief system. Now, of course, keep in mind, this is not to fall into victim, because your consciousness getting hijacked is you participating in a belief system that doesn't resonate for you. This is very critical to understand, so that you don't start blaming things out there in terms of why your capacity is low. But let's just get right into it though. So I want you to understand that you don't necessarily need money, you need consciousness. That's what you need. And whatever that means to you is going to be completely individual. So the claim that I'm making here in this short video, but powerful video in my personal opinion, if you choose to see it in that way as a permission slip, to help you get into alignment with what you want to create, is to master your attention, and you'll always have what you need. You know, there's many things in my life that personally I thought that I needed, and then when I took a step back and thought to myself, why do I need this? I'm chasing this, and I just stopped and I was like, what do I actually need? If it's like I don't actually need this thing that I thought that I need. This happened to me with certain foods. This happened to me with certain kinds of relationships. So what I want to share with you is, and what it is exactly is completely irrelevant, by the way, because it's individual for each person. So what is that for you? What do you believe that you need, that you think you want, but it's lowering your capacity? It's lowering your capacity and your awareness to perceive this moment fully and to fully be here. Keep that in mind. So what I want to share with you in this short video is, if you master your attention and you learn not to give attention to the thought forms, everything is a thought form. You're living in a universal mind. Okay, everything is mind, everything is imagination, presence. This present moment, presence and imagination are not contradictions. The more that you learn to master your attention and to focus on the thought forms and the entities that are in alignment, to merge yourself with those entities that are in alignment with what you want to create, you will stop feeding energy to the thought forms and the entities that are out of alignment. And this is an interesting thing to think about, because you want to stop thinking as things as good or bad. Everything exists, and you can choose consciously to participate in a kind of reality that is in alignment with your heart and soul. And now once you master your attention and you realize that there's all these thought forms lingering around in your consciousness, which ones do you want to give attention to, right? Which ones do you believe you have to give attention to that is actually lowering your state, that you don't want to participate anymore? You know, you might have memories coming in from a past life, and immediately you might notice that it closes your heart down. Well, what do you want to do? Don't focus on that. It's a delusion. It's a deception. It's a deception because in some plane of consciousness, you've already been down that road. Now, if you follow the resistance, then what happens is that you're just repeating timelines and challenges and so-called problems that you've already experienced. So just keep that in mind. It's the choice. It's completely a choice. You know, and this perspective has personally allowed me to feel so free, to feel so powerful in my consciousness, because I stopped giving my power away to, you know, something is attacking me, or something is infiltrating my consciousness, or something is hijacking my consciousness, or this person is making me feel some way. Like this, think about it. This person is making me feel some way. At some point, that was a useful belief system. At some point, though, that also was not in alignment with how I wanted to show up in the world. Because if you keep thinking, for me personally, if I kept thinking in that way, I would not have ever felt how I wanted to feel in my reality, and I would never have increased my capacity to feel how I want to feel, and then also have the energy to manifest the things that I actually want, and to transcend and rise above the things that I believe I thought I wanted. Now, I'm not saying that money isn't an important tool, but oftentimes you think you need money now, I need it right now. You pull back and you master your attention, and the money just comes to you. Money comes to you. Let's say you have a business. You keep chasing all these clients. Oh, I need this client right now. Why do you need this client right now? Maybe what you really need is to go take some time to go walk in the park and go meditate, right? And then you feel rejuvenized, and by the time you check your email, there's that client. So we believe we have to control people. You don't need to control people. You don't need to control circumstances. You have to control your attention. Become a master of your frequency. Become a master of your attention, and you realize you don't necessarily need money. You need consciousness and attention, and whatever you need to get to that thing that your attention is guiding you towards, like, oh, this person resonates for me, or this thing resonates for me, or this house resonates for me, or I want to be here, I want this kind of job. It'll guide you, right? It's a calling. Anything that is out of alignment with that will literally close your heart down, and you want to trust that. Trust your emotional guidance system. If something is closing your heart down, you have full permission to not focus on that and not to place your attention on that. People are often scared, oh, but what if I'm running away from a problem? Let me ask you this. If some random person was to knock on your door and you don't know who this person was, and they gave you a bad vibe, a really weird vibe, would you just open the door and let them come into your house and then call that shadow work? Oh, I need to face my challenges. What if I'm running away from something? What if, no, what you do is you ask the person to leave calmly. And then if they don't leave, you perhaps need to call the police or something. You don't need to make it a big deal or get reactive, but appropriate action is necessary when certain things are trying to convince you that your attention needs to go there. Absolutely critical. And I think that analogy is beautiful because similarly, just like a random person knocking on your door, there's thought forms popping into your consciousness, trying to delude you, trying to convince you that you need to go there. Well, you can see it as an aspect of consciousness that exists, but you do not need to give it your attention. Absolutely critical to keep in mind. If you, personally for me, if when I adopted this, my peace increased by unmeasurable amounts that I cannot convey in words, in ways that transcend language completely. Because when you realize that you don't have to give attention to anything you don't want to give attention to, you've now liberated yourself. You've now found the peace within you that nobody can take away from you. Nobody can take that away from you. No thought form, no negative entity. Of course, if you perceive life in that way, then honor that 100%. I personally don't see anything as good or bad. I see it as an aspect of existence that I'm choosing not to participate in right now because that's not what resonates for me, right? The more that you do this, the more that you're going to realize that everything is just the permission slip to help you feel more in alignment with that unconditionally loving presence that you truly are. Choosing to place your attention on the imaginal thought form and the imaginal act and the beliefs and the thought forms does not contradict connecting to your heart and your presence. In fact, presence and choosing those thought forms, choosing those beliefs, choosing to place your attention on what you resonate with, that's the liberation. And that's when you realize that it's not the food, it's not the diet, it's not the person, it's not the healer. You are the healer. You are the power, and everything is a permission slip. The question is, what is resonating for you now? Take control of your attention. Take responsibility of your attention, and you'll have everything you need when you need it to go where you want to go, where your attention wants to go. You'll be completely supported along the way to go where you want to go. Every single time, no exceptions. So So let's just conclude this video. Where do you need to place your attention in order to increase your capacity? And I'm asking that question to you. What does that mean for you? What do you need to focus on right now that is going to increase your capacity? Because remember, there are no rights or wrongs. What do you need to focus on to increase your capacity? What is that for you? Because if you need to focus on something to increase your capacity, then do that and keep focusing on that. You have complete permission to ignore what is lowering your state. Just like that person knocking on your door. I think it's a great analogy because it gives you permission to be like, oh yeah, I'm not just going to let this random person that I don't know who this is, why they're knocking on my door, that I'm getting a weird energy from, that is completely out of alignment with what I know I want. No, I'm not going to let this person into my house. I don't have anything against this person, right? There's nothing wrong that this person exists. I don't have anything against this person, but I'm simply not going to allow them into my home, into my space, because I create my space. Notice how when I'm saying this, there's no negativity behind it. There's no judgment. There's no like, there's something wrong with this person, or there's they shouldn't be existing. No, it's just that I don't know who this person is, and I don't know if I want to be in my own space. I could say I don't want this person in my house. Better perspective, in my opinion. What do you want? I want a safe space. I want to create a safe space. What do I want? A safe space. If I want to communicate what I don't want random people in my house that I don't know. And I think it's just a good analogy because, again, this helps you to remove any guilt or shame around believing that you have to follow these timelines, these realities that exist that you have no intention or desire to go in that direction. Okay, you have no desire to go there, so why go there? You're safe to stop putting your attention on that and move forward towards what increases your capacity, increases your energy, and helps you to feel how you want to feel. Focus on what will increase your energetic capacity. And when you do this, you'll realize that you feel so good. You realize that in that moment that you thought you needed the money, you thought you needed the relationship, or whatever. Maybe it's the opposite for you. Maybe you think you need money, really you want a relationship, right? It's completely different. Maybe you just want to go do something else. But what you'll notice is that whatever you thought that you needed, you don't need it anymore. And you move forward and you step into a higher reality where you don't need it anymore. And then of course, by no coincidence, because coincidences do not exist, you will attract the money that you need, that you actually need, really, to go wherever it is that you want it to go, if you even need it at that point. Most of the time you don't. And then you get into energy where you have more than enough money. You know how to hold your energy. You know how to hold and not give away your energy freely to things that have that are just out of alignment with your intention, right? It's not about judging people or seeing things as wrong or bad. It's just like, does everything deserve your attention? Absolutely not. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everything deserves your focus and your presence. When you're in the presence of something, giving it attention, that's you're giving. When you're focusing on something, that's how you give something. That's giving. The biggest thing that you can really give another person is not money. It's your attention. That's the highest currency, right? You could give somebody $50,000, but if that comes from a low energetic capacity, are you really giving that person something? You know, if I'm in a low frequency and I give somebody that has no understanding of finances and energy a ton of money from my lowered state that I believe I have to give away my energy, that's feeding a dysfunctional pattern. That person's most likely to take that money and they're just going to lose it all. And that's a waste of my time and energy to give that person money. And even if they convince themselves that they want my money, if I give it to them, they'll find a way to lose it because they don't know how to master their attention to hold the money. So instead, I would invite that person, hey, I know that you want $50,000, you know, I'd be happy to give it to you, but I don't think you need that. I think what you really need is to increase your attention and your consciousness. I would invite that person, I would teach them how to master their energy, how to manifest $50,000 on their own. That's what I would do. I would help them do that. And then they would thank me much more after. They would be much more thankful than if I just handed them $50,000 and that felt shitty to me and shitty to them, even if they were unconscious of it, right? So we'll focus on what you need to increase your energetic capacity. You'll always have the money that you need. You'll always have what you want. And with that, I conclude this video. Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. It's also going to be in the comments of this video as well. I'm also running a group program very soon. In the next couple of months, I would love for about 15 or 20 people to be a part of it. If you feel called to join this program, the details are going to be in the description box and in the comments of this video as well. As always, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Test, test.